What's going on YouTube? Bryce builds it all, your favorite AMPIA and Part 147 instructor, back with a different kind of video. The wife and I were out at dinner the other day with a friend of ours, and he was talking about some of the YouTubers that he likes to watch and the things that he likes to see. And one of the things he had mentioned and my wife had mentioned is that it's very important as a YouTuber to tell your story so that your viewers can relate to you. If that interests you, stick around. This video will also serve probably as my channel trailer. So if you want to know what my channel's about, definitely stick around. I think the easiest thing to do with this is to start at the end and sort of go back to the beginning and then throughout the story briefly touch on the end again. But if you haven't been watching the channel, and this is your first video, it's a little weird, but I am an AMP, or an aircraft mechanic, an IA, and I teach at a Part 147 in school, at a Part 147 school for the new recruits, the new crop of AMPs to learn about being an aircraft mechanic and how to get their AMP certificate or license so that they can go be an aircraft mechanic. Now, how did I get here? Well, if we rewind all the way back to 2013, I graduated high school. So what had happened was when I was 16 in high school, I applied for a scholarship through the Aviation Explorers, which is sort of like the Boy Scouts Explorers troop, sort of offshoot from the Boy Scouts, if you will. I had applied for a scholarship from them for $3,500 to get my pilot's license, and I actually won it. And back then, pilot's training or flight training went a lot further. So I got about 32-ish hours in a Cessna 150. With that money, I was able to solo, I was able to cross country, and then the money ran out and I wasn't able to continue, somewhat unfortunately. However, it did tell me something. It taught me something that it was very important. I learned that I'm not passionate about flying. I don't love flying the way that I love riding a motorcycle. I don't love flying in a sense that it's something that I'm drawn to do every weekend, every day, or as much as possible. So I said, you know, I like engines, I like working on things, I like being a mechanic, I like building things. My brother, my older brother, joined the Army and became a prop and rotor mechanic, and he's very good at that, and he does okay. So I looked at my dad my senior year of high school, and I said, Dad, I think I want to be an aircraft mechanic. And he goes, it's worked out okay for your brother, might as well give it a shot. So I moved to San Antonio. I took out a bunch of student loans to cover my rent and my groceries, and I went to school for 18 months at a little Part 147 in a community college known as St. Philip's College. That's where I got my ANP from. Anyways, so got my ANP, or I went through the program. It's 18, 19 months, something like that. Got my ANP, and I was looking for a job, and wasn't sure what I was going to do. Wasn't sure where I was going to go. I didn't really want to go to a major airline. Hindsight's 2020. I probably should have. I could have gone anywhere in the world. But I was like, you know what? No, I want to work on small aircraft. So that's exactly what I did. And I got a job at Stinson Airport in San Antonio for a guy who's now passed away. But I got a job there. He didn't pass away while I was working there. Put that out there. And I worked there for probably a month and a half, 2 months. And one of my former instructors came to me and he said, hey, me and another student are starting a business. We're going to be doing maintenance. We're going to be running a flight school, all of this good stuff. Why don't you join us? And I've talked about the FBO on the channel before, and that is the FBO I'm talking about. I won't name them. They still are in business in the San Antonio region. Their name starts with a B. There you go. Anyways, I went to work there, and I worked there for, I want to say almost 4.5 years as an AMP. But while I was there, I got exposed to a lot of different maintenance problems being an FBO, not just a flight school. We took in obviously outside customers and did maintenance for outside people. I learned a whole lot in those years. I was able to be mentored, if you will, by my good buddy Darren. I've done one video with Darren. He wasn't on camera, but it was the video where we worked on the T-34. Maybe I'll put some of that up. Me and Darren have obviously stayed in touch. He's an IA. He's a tremendous human being. Love him to death. Shout out to you, Darren. I don't know if you even watch my videos. I don't think he does, but it's besides the point. I met him. I was able to shadow him. He taught me most everything I know about airworthiness and being an IA and how things are done, if you will. And then when he left, he took a new job, or he took a better job, I should say, at a 135 in their training department, being the head of their training department and teaching. So I had to go get my IA, and I've talked about this before. I had the 3-year experience requirement, but I wasn't super confident in myself or in the test just yet. So I decided to invest the money, and I went to Baker School of Aeronautics in Lebanon, Tennessee, or Lebanon, however you want to say it. I think it's Lebanon, though. But they do not sponsor the channel. They've never sponsored the channel. They've never even reached out to me. I don't care. They did a tremendous job with the IA test prep. I know plenty of people who have gone to them for the A&P test prep, to do their crash course, if you will. Like I said, they're in Tennessee. I drove from Texas, but you could fly if you really wanted to. It made it so easy. I was there for 4 days, walked into the test, sat down, went through the test in about 15 minutes and got a 98. I mean, it was incredibly easy going through Baker School of Aeronautics. This is a shameless plug for them. Like I said, they do not sponsor the channel, but Baker School of Aeronautics, if y'all want to sponsor the channel and do like a giveaway or something with me, by all means, reach out. Maybe we can send some people your way. I don't know. But anyways, so I got my IA, came back to Texas, and continued working for that flight school for several years. And then I was at the flight school one day, and a friend of mine who is an instructor at a Part 147 school came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm retiring. My position is going to be available. We haven't advertised it yet, but we will advertise it. You should probably apply for it. You might get it." So I was sitting there thinking, well, I'm making about $22 an hour right now as an A&P with an IA. If I go work at the school, I'm going to get a pretty good pay raise, and I'll have a whole bunch of time off for my wife and my kids. So I said, okay, this sounds favorable. So I applied for it, and I was absolutely shocked when they called me for an interview, and then I was so shocked when they called me for a second interview, and then I was even more shocked when they actually called and offered me the position. I've now been at this 147 school for about coming up on 5 years. August, I think, is going to mark my 5-year mark here, which is nice. But I've been here for 5 years teaching, like I said, aircraft maintenance to the new crop of A&Ps. About a year and a half ago, I really started ramping up my side business, though. Some friends reached out to me, people that I went to school with, people that I knew from the 147 arena, if you will, and people that I used to know from even the FBO, and said, "Hey, are you still working on airplanes?" I said, "Well, yeah, I help a couple of friends out here and there, and when people need things to keep my IA current and to keep my skills up, I do like to do some side work." So I got calls from people, and I kind of started not really ramping up my side business, but I was sort of doing some business on the side, if you will. And I was only probably doing like 3 to 4 annuals a year, so I really wasn't making more than a couple $1,000s on my side business, but it was a little extra money to buy my wife jewelry or to go on a vacation or to do something with. So I thought, okay, this is working out okay. I'm just going to keep doing this. Until one of my buddies called me and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Arizona. I've got my Cessna 172 completely taken apart. Will you help me rebuild it?" And I said, okay. And that is where my channel started. I thought, you know what, I've wanted to do YouTube for many, many, many years. I've talked about this in other videos, but I was always not really scared, but just sort of the idea of putting yourself out there on the internet for people to criticize you, for people to see what you're doing, for people to feel however they feel about it and have an opinion on it is quite a daunting thing. I was worried about being cringy. To quote my favorite YouTuber, Shade Tree Surgeon, he always says, "Do not kill the part of you that is cringe, kill the part of you that cringes." And I sort of embraced that, and I said, you know what? I want to document the journey of putting this 172 back together. I want to document the journey of being an aircraft mechanic, and I started doing that. And then I realized, I've got a lot of knowledge in becoming an aircraft mechanic, and maybe people will want to know that. And since I'm a 147 instructor, I have some authority to speak on how to do it and the different ways to do it because I do teach it. So pretty quickly I said, you know what, I'm not only going to do maintenance, not only am I going to do aircraft maintenance because I'm building this 172, but I'm also going to film videos about getting your A&P, how to become an A&P, the cons, the negatives, the pros, and all of that good stuff. And some of those videos have been met with a lot of controversy. I did a video that was called 5 Things That Suck for A&Ps, and it's probably my best performing video of all time. It's weird that negativity works that way, but it does. And I was a little exaggerative. I exaggerated a little bit in that video, so I expected some people to disagree with me. But I got both sides of the fence. I got people who really, really agreed with me. I got people who just were not very nice about it. They told me, well, if you hate your job so much, quit. And I'm like, no, you misunderstand. I'm not saying that I hate my job. I absolutely love what I do. I love being an aircraft mechanic. I love teaching. I love running a side business. I love all aspects of aviation, and it's been a whole lot of fun. So one thing that I have learned from doing YouTube for so long is that sometimes it's a good idea to preface things. And if you're going to be negative, you need to preface it with the fact that this is just me talking about a negative side of things, but I still love what I do on the whole, and I wouldn't trade it for a day doing anything else. But like I said, that was about a year and a half ago. I started with the 172 videos. I started sort of making videos about becoming an AMP. I started making videos about my Miata and my motorcycle, which not a lot of people watch, but that's okay. Those are more for me than for other people. I will eventually have to transition the channel away from aviation because my side business, it's not that it's slowing down, it's just I don't know how many more massive projects I'm going to do, and it's probably going to become just routine annuals, which is not very exciting for somebody watching a video. But it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I make videos about aircraft, I make videos about getting your AMP. I've also said this in another video. People reach out sometimes and they ask me questions about what to study, and I try to be helpful. I have a Discord where people share all kinds of study resources and information about what to study and uplift and support one another. And every single time somebody emails me, drops a message in the Discord, or even sends me a message or replies to a YouTube video and says, I got my AMP because of you, or I was able to pass because of you, or I listened to your advice and I got it, or you motivated me. It is so rewarding for me deep down in my heart, and it's something that really keeps me going. It's what keeps the channel alive. It's what keeps my motivation alive, and without that, I'm not sure that I would continue doing it for very long, because there is enough negativity on the internet where you just kind of get tired of it sometimes. And it's weird. It comes in waves. I'll go like 2 weeks where I cannot get a positive comment, and then I'll go a month where it's just nothing but thank you so much for your channel, you're the greatest guy in the world, which is, it's a little weird. It's also been a little weird that once or twice out in public, I've had somebody come up to me and they'll just say my name. They'll be like, Bryce Builds It All. And I'm like, it's me. I'm him. And I still don't know how to respond to it when people see me in public. It's never happened at a grocery store or anything like that. It's only ever happened at like airports and or maintenance facilities where people are aircraft mechanics and say, hey, I watch your videos. And again, that's also something that's really cool. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I've been yapping for quite a minute. My next video next week, I want to talk about the pros and cons of running a business, the honest truth of it, how much money you can actually make. There's so many videos out there where people just exaggerate things, but I'm going to be very, very real with y'all about how much money you can make as a freelance aircraft mechanic on general aviation aircraft, so make sure you stick around for that. Hopefully I was able to make this entertaining. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe. As always, join the Discord and follow me on Instagram. As always, go build something and be easy. Little postscript here. Why I always end my videos with go build something and be easy? Well, it's my opinion that it doesn't matter if it's a birdhouse, it doesn't matter if it's a picnic table, an airplane, a car, a motorcycle, a lawnmower, I don't care. Go build something. Do something productive, build something from scratch, take something that doesn't exist and make it exist. It's a really rewarding thing. It's something I love to do, and it's something that I think everybody should do at some point in their life, even if it's just building Legos. Build something. Build a sandcastle for all I care, but go out there and build something. And the second part of that, I always say, be easy. And it actually comes from a hat that I used to have. It said be easy on the side of it, and it was a motorcycle brand. I think it's Careless with a K. And I've kind of adopted that as my life slogan. Just be easy. It's sort of like take it easy. It's sort of like, have an easy time, but it actually means to embrace the entire lifestyle of being easy, of not being difficult to be around, of not being a difficult person, of not being dealing with tumultuary, however you want to say it. It just means be easy. Be an easy person. Embrace the lifestyle of being chill and relaxed. And it's so much more better when you're not stressful. So anyways, there you go. See y'all later.